What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this is my quick review of the Xiang 668-A3, and this is the quad here. I like to call this the Captain America quad, and as you can see the symbol there, it looks exactly like Captain America's shield, and that's why I call it that. But this thing actually surprised me with its size. I thought that this was a Xiang X5C size quad, and let me give you guys a size comparison. This is a Xiang X5C clone. This is the Xiang Toys X6050, and check it out as a size comparison. This thing is smaller than the X6050, so this is about the same size as the Sky Dreamer Plus, and so it's that size in between mini and micro. It flies okay. It flies pretty well, but it does have some issues. For the most part, it's a nice quad though. Let me get the issues out the way that I have with it. It has a very fast yaw in third rates. Now the fast yaw in third rates is somewhat proportional, so if you're really good, you can get a nice steering out of it, barely. It's really hard to do. I think deviation will probably solve that issue, definitely. But the issue I have with that third rate with the high speed yaw is that the lights flash, and I don't know, it seems like it might be pulling so much power to do that from the battery that it actually makes the lights flicker and flash, or maybe that they programmed that in there to help it with the power or whatnot, but the lights actually flicker when you're doing that high speed yaw. But not even when you're doing a high speed yaw, when you yaw period. Anytime you apply yaw in the third rate, the lights turn off. The lights start to flash. And so that's one thing that I don't like, a little thing, I guess. And the other thing that I don't like about it is, well, still at that fast yaw, sometimes it'll fall. It'll get confused. If you do that, spin too much, the accelerometer, I think, gets confused, and it'll fall out of the air sometimes. So I guess that's still on that same first one, dealing with the yaw. And so I guess the second one would be the throttle. It might be the transmitter, but it drops completely out sometimes when you're trying to lower the throttle on it. Sometimes it cuts the throttle completely out and it'll fall down. So I find myself flying it a lot, and then the throttle will completely cut mid-flight when I'm trying to lower the throttle, and it'll drop out and I'll have to catch it. And so there's a dropout in throttle application when you're lowering it a lot. It happens a lot. So other than that, this thing is a really nice flyer. The second rate is very nice to fly in. It has a nice decent pitch. The yaw is pretty fast. This thing can spin around on one motor pod on mid rates, so pretty awesome. The mid rate on this thing flies better than most high rates on other quads, so this thing flies pretty nice. Another thing though that I have to mention is when you're the pitch, it seems a little choppy, I want to say. When you apply pitch, sometimes it seems almost like the auto leveling is not turned on sometimes, because sometimes if you're flying it and you cut throttle and then give throttle again, the accelerometer won't straighten it back out right away. It'll stay at that pitch. So sometimes you'll have that throttle drop out and it'll cause the aircraft to go like that. And then when you apply throttle again, it'll stay that way. So it'll fly this way for a little bit and for maybe a second before it actually straightens out. So a little choppy on the throttle on the pitch application, or maybe that's just the accelerometer being a little slow with correcting the way they dialed it in. But it's a really nice flyer. It seems to have a lot of power. It's really peppy, has a nice throttle punch and all. The battery bay is kind of small, but you can fit a 500 milliamp hour Hubsan battery in here. As you can see, it's very hard to cram the wires in there though. Even with the stock battery is 350 milliamp hours, and it's kind of hard to, it's very hard, extremely hard to get the wires crammed up in there to close it. So I did the Quadcopter 101 mod to it, to the back there. And it does have an on and off switch. That's a plus. The lighting on here is very nice, although red is in the front, blue is in the back. I know a lot of people don't like that, but you can see I cut spaces there on the battery door to get the wires to be able to remain out when you close the battery bay. So I'm having a little trouble with it now. But for the most part, it's a nice quad. It comes with these landing gear here. I never fly with the landing gear or the prop guards because it just makes it heavier and flight performance takes a hit from it. But if you're going to use the camera, this does have a port for a camera. I haven't seen a camera version, but it does have a socket for the camera there. So you can use this as a camera quad, and that's the instance that you would use those landing pod legs there. And the prop guards work pretty well. For the most part, though, I don't fly with the prop guards on. And I imagine you would probably have more problems with the throttle cut with those prop guards and landing gear on it. So, but for the most part, pretty nice quad. The transmitter is exactly the same as the transmitter from the DM007. It's an exact clone of it, except for it doesn't have the LCD display on it. It takes 4 AA batteries, and pretty awesome quad. The Xiang 668-A3, aka the Captain America quad. Thanks for watching.